In 2001, in a quiet Midwestern town, detectives stumbled upon something out of a nightmare. Someone wasn't just committing murders. They were writing them out first. Every scene, every detail, carefully scripted, as if life itself were just a movie. But this wasn't Hollywood. And the chilling truth? The killer's diary wasn't a dream. It was a screenplay, and every page ended in blood. The story begins in the spring of 2001 in Indiana, a small community where most people still left their doors unlocked. But then, young women began to vanish. The first was 19-year-old Melissa Turner. She left a late shift at a diner and never came home. Weeks later, another, Jessica Hall, age 22. Her car was found abandoned, her shoes placed neatly on the roadside. By the third disappearance, fear had spread through the town. People began to whisper, "This isn't random. Someone is planning this." Detectives noticed something unsettling. Each crime scene had a strange, theatrical quality. At one scene, a victim's purse was arranged carefully on a bench. At another, a gas station lot looked staged. Footprints, objects placed just so, as if the killer wanted it seen. One investigator muttered, "It feels like someone's directing a movie." The idea seemed absurd until the breakthrough came 2 years later. In 2003, a landlord cleaning out an abandoned storage unit found a box of notebooks. One was written like a film script. Scene 1, the waitress exits diner. Scene 2, car abandoned, shoes placed roadside. Scene 3, silence. The hairs on detectives' necks stood up. The screenplay wasn't fiction. It described each of the unsolved murders in chilling detail. Investigators had the diary, but they didn't have a suspect. No fingerprints. No handwriting match. The case dragged on. Families grieved without answers. And the killer seemed to vanish into thin air. For years, the script sat locked in evidence, like a riddle nobody could solve. In 2005, forensic genealogy was still new. But when investigators tested DNA from duct tape found on one victim, they found a distant family match. The trail led to a man named Mark Ellison, a 32-year-old former film student, quiet, reclusive, obsessed with directors like Hitchcock and Tarantino. When detectives compared the handwriting in the script to Ellison's old college papers, it was identical. The screenplay was a confession. When police raided Ellison's apartment, they walked into a shrine to cinema. Movie posters covered the walls, VHS tapes stacked from floor to ceiling, and dozens of journals, not diaries but scripts. Every victim was described as a character. Every murder was a scene. Ellison once wrote, "Real actors can disappoint you, but characters, they do exactly what I tell them to." It was the mind of a director turned predator. Mark Ellison was arrested in 2006. At trial, prosecutors showed the jury a screenplay, a step-by-step account of murders, written before they happened. Jurors were horrified. One said later, "It was like watching a movie, but knowing the victims were real." In a chilling twist, Ellison's final scene in the script described his own arrest, almost as if he wanted the story to end with him in handcuffs. The jury convicted him on multiple counts of murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. For the families, justice brought closure, but no peace. Their daughters' lives have been stolen by a man who saw them as characters in his private film. The case sparked nationwide debate. Do violent movies create monsters? Or was Ellison already broken, just using Hollywood as his excuse? One detective summed it up best. This wasn't about movies. This was about control. He didn't want to watch a film. He wanted to write one in blood. In the end, Mark Ellison never made it to Hollywood, but his screenplay became infamous, not for what it imagined, but for the horror it brought to life.